Welcome back to Yvette's View, where we continue to vibe high on good high vibrations. This is episode 14, and it's entitled The Explosion. So I'm continuing from the tornado on, and in this tornado, there was an explosion that happened in the midst of that. At least it imploded or it exploded. And from getting information that I need to look for a place, and then getting the information that I was going to have to leave the same day she left a day before, was the day that was an explosion mentally in my mind. As I had found a place to move, I even asked the owner if he could grace me with just to the end of the month, because I thought it did at least have till the end of the month. And in May, the end of the month is the 31st. Well, little different explosions were starting to happen with other people as well in the family. That was all of a sudden that told me one time that I had the time to, it went from, oh, you should have at least until this amount of time, till, no, you have to get out now. And being told this as I am in the midst of working, because again, I'm still working because I got time. I'm still packing. I'm working, packing, and doing everything that I need to do so that at least I'm ready to move out by the 1st. Not thinking I was going to have to leave out the very next day. All this time, everyone is assuming that I knew I had to leave the same day she left. And as I would ask the question, which is what I did, I asked my mother, how would I know that when that was never told to me? How would I know that based upon the information that was given to me from you, number one, that he's thinking about selling, until all of a sudden now he's definitely going to sell. And even from him, when I talked to him, still said the same thing, that he didn't know what he was going to do. And then I'm hearing in the background that no, the end of the month is when she vacates the premises. I'm like, not when I have a right to stay here, because I have mail coming here. So now I'm legal resident here, whether I'm on the lease or not. And as I thought about fighting it and going to get a lawyer to talk about this and see if we can, at least give me till the beginning of the month where I thought was reasonable. And when I asked him, could he grace me a few more days? All of a sudden, no, he couldn't do that because everything was in the works. I should have at least been given the opportunity to stay until the end of that month, not the day that my mother was leaving. Just because she chose to leave before the month was up does not mean that's the end of the month. But family members are telling me that it is. And I just was questioning that. So when I asked the lawyer, they said something totally different. And when I let them know that, then I had family members who exploded about that on me, as if I was in the wrong. And when I tell you, family, I had no idea of that type of vitriol that was coming my way. And that explosion that happened, and then even my oldest brother, who tends to not have anything to say, just, well, nothing I can do. I can't stand up for you. I can't speak up for you. There was no one who could speak up for me. When I say no one, not even my mother, could speak up for me. And when I even told my mother, my father would not approve. That's one thing I know for 100% sure. My daddy would have never allowed that. Ever. Not his baby girl. You would have thought that I was a stranger. You would have thought that I was somebody they had no experience with, no time with, don't know how I get down, don't know that I have integrity and that I've always used integrity. But it was given to a new person that he called brother. My brother called this owner brother. That was a brother to him. And his sister that he grew up with, he acted as if he didn't know who I was. It was almost as if I was a complete, irresponsible stranger, because you were no longer considering me as family. That's just based upon that action. Based upon that action, I'm not your family anymore. I am your enemy. Because I'm getting ready to show you how I really feel about you. I thought my family was loyal, fight for each other, stand up for each other, know the characteristics of a person. They've shown me what they think about my character. When I tell you my mind exploded within, because I could not believe what I was hearing. I could not believe what was happening. And I could not believe that they actually thought this was the right thing to do. You're going to be fair. No one's asking you to do anything that's not just the fair thing to do. And especially when you couldn't communicate and tell me that this is what was happening, or this is what you expected. No one could tell me this was the expectation. As a matter of fact, as I continue to say, they kept telling me the opposite. Well, you have at least till the end of June. At least that's what they claimed they thought. Or at least until the end of the month. But that quickly changed to the end of the month was no longer the 31st. It is the 27th when she leaves. I had to call my twin. Shout out to Tish. And when I exploded with her, exploded on everything, I was just like, wait. We started to talk. I calmed down very quickly and chose peace. And with the assistance of my twin, decided, oh, you know what? I do have this option. Let me go and get a place to stay. And as of that night, on my mother's birthday, May 26th, I left that night. So even in that, I will say one thing that my mother thought she was doing was, good for me, because I didn't have a storage place and I didn't have a truck or anything, because I hadn't thought about doing anything like that because I thought I had time. And I was basing that off of, like I said, information that was given to me prior. So, in the kindness of my mother's heart, she secured a storage for me and allowed me to use the truck that she was using to put my stuff in, to take it to the storage. And I thanked her for that. I went to the bank, paid her for what she paid for the place, for the unit, thanked her, wished her love and light on her journey back to my sons. So after that was taken care of, I told my family to have a beautiful day. And once I was able to put the lock on my storage place, wish them love and light on their journey, and close that chapter. But the family that I dedicated my life to, my choice, but I dedicated my life to my family, to find out that you should have never done that. I can tell you it did not feel good. You're talking about someone who felt betrayed to the utmost, where there's no way we can come back from this. There's no way I can come back from this. There's no way I can look at you the same way. They taught me the lesson of a lifetime. And once that world exploded, I did not realize it was going to have to explode in the way that it did. But I understand why it had to explode the way that it did. Because had it not exploded the way it did, family, as I think I said in probably in the first beginning of this series, I would still be tethered to that energy. But I knew for a fact that when I leave, I'm leaving on a love vibration note. No matter what you do, has nothing to do with how I respond. And because I had learned that exploding back, and if something were to happen, how would I feel? But I also think that that's an old concept and an old mindset as well. Because if I say something that I mean, whether it be hurtful or not, if I mean it, I mean it. And I was always this, there's no takesies backsies. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. And because I chose, though, that they have a beautiful day, I really meant that. I knew that old paradigm, that old mindset, that old world, that old way of being had exploded. It was demolished. It tore down everything. It left nothing. in its pathway. And I will say from May 26th, after that tornado explosion happened, and my delusion of what my concept of family loyalty looked like, that exploded and broke into tiny little particles. But because I chose peace, family, over fighting with my own family about me having the right just to stay here a few more days, it wasn't worth it. Because I knew what it would have taken from me. I knew what it would have done internally to me. And because at this time, family, that high vibration of love and loving me fully took over. Whereas there would have been a time, there would have been a time I would have came straight for your neck and willing to go them rounds and throw them things if need be. Oh yes, brother and all, and whoever wanted it. If I lose, I lose, but I'm going down fighting. But I'm grateful that that was no longer beneficial. Because what would it have gotten me in the end? Same result. Still a separation. Still a divide. Still an ending of this is where I get off. But how I wanted to leave, I wanted to leave whole. I wanted to leave whole. I wanted to leave in love. I wanted to leave with my integrity intact. Not for anyone else's sake, but just for mine. Because I live with my own consciousness. And for me to be able to be good with whatever I chose and how I chose to leave and continued in silence, along with that love vibration and sending love and light on their journey, I'm able to sleep well. I have the greatest peace ever because I chose me first. Even when I had my explosion inwardly, because I literally just broke down and couldn't believe what I was hearing. Couldn't believe it was just so unimaginable. I never would have imagined it. It kind of reminds me of Malcolm X when he couldn't imagine that his leader would betray his trust. He never even conceived that that could be a possibility. And when he found out that that was not the truth, it was such a devastating blow to him. That just came to me to even match my own experience with just the movie Malcolm. It just goes to show you that, or it showed me, and now that I think about it, it just shows me that, wow, I definitely had that blinded trust, that blinded loyalty. And once that big betrayal came, it was devastating. this is the end of this episode. So stay tuned for the final episode coming in soon. And continue to vibe high on good high vibrations. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. With that being said, family, enjoy your day. Peace.